So yes, let's get started. I am Kritika. I'm from the marketing team of Zoosites, and today I'm joined by Christine. She's also a fellow marketer, and we also have Naresh. He's one of a technical expert. So if you have any questions regarding Zoosites, you can always ask us. So we have a technical person to help you out. So again, yeah, today's session, I've already given a brief about it. A little about the other things, like, we are present in our social media, on all social media platforms. Feel free to click on either Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and follow us. And, you can always message us. We have somebody manning it around the clock, and they will get back to you. Also, if you want to get in touch with me, you can email us to marketing@zoosites.com. The email reaches directly to me, Christine, as well as our marketing manager. So we will get in touch with you and help you sort any sort of issues you might have. And yeah, so today's agenda is website customization. And there are like 4 different kinds of customization you can do with the Zoho site. So we are just going to it's not something like, we're not going to be explaining or teaching you how to do CSS or JS or whatever. What we are going to tell you is show you example scenarios and show you how you can achieve it. And this particular session is to let you know the kind of customization you can do. So there are so many people out there who can help you with CSS code, and you can also experiment and write your own code. And if you are finding some difficulties, our support people can definitely help you out in debugging your code. So that's what the session is entirely about, for us to help you customize your website so you can let customers have much better navigational experience. So what is website customization? So when I talk about website, I mean, there are various level of customization, but with Zoho sites, what I am talking about is that you usually build your site. We don't build our site from scratch. We build a website from a pre-built template. So you could be in whatever industries. Zoho sites come with some 50 plus templates. I think there's 75 plus templates. Christine would correct me at some point. So what you can do is, there are a lot of questions, like they find the header too big and they want to reduce the white spacing. Then you can achieve it with the help of CSS. There are certain interactive elements you want to bring to your website. When a customer hovers over a section, you want the particular image to change. That can also be achieved via JS. So there are various things on your website that our pre-built template might not let you do. So that is where the CSS comes in place. And that's why we had given a lot of customization option for our customers. And there are various scenarios. So there are various so we actually went into a lot of our support tickets and pulled out the frequently asked queries, and we have based the samples out of that. So what we can do is, if you want, you can always write back to us. We will send all of these sample codes we have out to you. So yeah, let's get into directly into CSS. So CSS, what is CSS? So like I said, there are 4 different ways of customization. CSS is a customization factor which lets you work with the front end, basically the design of your website. You want to move your menu from left to right, you can definitely do that with CSS. You want to increase the size of your banners, you want to make it a little smaller, you can do that with the help of CSS. So CSS lets you customize the overall look and feel of your website. And like I said, Zoho sites comes with a pre-built template. So where you can find this particular module, like the CSS editor, is if you go into settings under customize, you can see the custom CSS editor, and this is where you go in and place your CSS codes. So today, CSS scenarios, like what we are going to show is that all of our templates come with an RSS feed. And so we are going to show you how you can remove the RSS feed. A lot of people don't really require it, and we have had a ton of questions about how to remove it. And so Christine is going to show you now how to remove that. And another examples that we have is basically moving all the element from right to left, basically to provide a better customer navigational experience. As you can see, your customers look, if you read a little bit, if you had read a little bit about customer psychology, customers navigate in a Z way. So the first thing that people do is they look on to like one particular side. So a lot of customers have actually wanted this particular feature. So that is why we have taken these two examples. So I'm just going to pass the control on to Christine, and she's going to show you how to do this. Just give me 1 second.
Okay, let me just pull up the demo, and thank you everyone for joining us today. A warm and hearty welcome from India. And so let's just get in with this video. Give me a moment. Right. So first we will be talking about how you can remove the RSS feed. No, I'm sorry. First we'll be talking about the right to left, as Kritika had mentioned. So in this demo, it's as simple as how now you can see, so apart from moving things from left to right, you can also move it from right to left. And so in this particular video, we're going to be talking about moving it from the left-hand side to the right, because studies show that, your eyes mostly catch the top right-hand corner. So we'll just be showing how you can use the CSS code to change that. So at the top, we have all of our social elements on the left, and we'll be moving them to the right. And so you go into settings, and you click on the custom CSS editor. And over there, you paste the code. Now, this code is available in our help document, so we'll be sharing you the link with that as well. It's as simple as just pasting it. Then you click save. And then after clicking save, you head back, and you can see, I'll pause it right here. So you can see that the changes take effect instantly. So what was on the right, what was on the left is now on the right-hand side. All the social icons, if I can point out over here, you can see that it is all shifted. So you don't even have to publish your site to see the change. So obviously when you do publish your site, you will see the change taking effect. And now we will get into the blog page to show how to remove the RSS. As you can see, by default, we have the subscribe to RSS feed. And so this is a widget that you'll have to get from a third-party provider. And then once you get that, you have to paste it over here. And so most people don't really use an RSS feed. And so there's been a lot of requests on not having this feature even there, on the website. And so what you can do is remove it. And so to remove it would be the same way by, heading into your settings. And even this particular code is available. So we've compiled all of our frequently asked requests, and I'll put all the codes together for all of you to view. And so you can paste that there. It's a very short code. And so after pasting that, you can see the change again taking effect instantly. So now when we go back to the blog page, as you can see over here, the RSS subscribe is no longer there. It's as simple as that. Okay, Kritika, I'll hand it back over to you.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second.
Or I think you can take it.
Yeah, I'll take it back. But in the meantime, do you have any questions?
Right.
But this is pretty straightforward. And if you ask us how to write these codes, Christine and I are going to be like, there's going to be a very blank response from us. But that is the thing with the CSS. There are like so many materials out there actually that can help you achieve it. Like you can easily write these codes, and Christine, you can just paste the link in the chat
yes, I will
box.
do that.
So
yes.
Gina is actually, she had made a thing like, can you make full screen? Gina, I think there is a problem. Sometimes Showtime loads it in a smaller screen, but I do think that you should have a ability to like make it full screen, Gina. So sorry that you're facing that issue, but sometimes to some people this particular error keeps coming up. All right, so these are the things. So basically what CSS does is like it can help you remove the visibility of certain elements. So like I said, Zoho Sites template comes with like a lot of elements, because we are looking to cater to a wider range of audience. Certain features do not really, like a lot of people might not need them, and this really helps you clean up and provide the right, like showcase the right element. Because when you haven't signed up for the RSS feed, and having it there and people clicking on it only creates a negative impact. So that is the reason why we have this code, and we like to give it to our customers. So just This is like, couple of scenarios. Now we're going to move into like, working with the header and footer code. So basically header and the footer code, if you had integrated any third party application on your website, you would have noticed like they give you like a snippet of code, and they basically ask you to go place it on your website's footer. So basically your header and footer works the same way. So basically two reasons. One is third party integration. So any sort of a pop-up tool that you want, you can integrate it using the header and the footer section. Also, if you want to apply some site wide changes, you can also use header and footer code, because it loads across the website. It's not pertain to a one page of your website. So that is the reason why people ask you to like place the code on either your header or footer. And the general rule of thumb is that header, when you place a code on the header, it's that the code loads first, because your header is loading first. And so mostly, if you think about it, your Google Analytics code and your tracking code, your conversion code, most like any third party tool you use, they want your particular they want to track conversion, they'll ask you to place it on the header section. So if you see on the right hand side the screenshot, you can see the header and footer code section under settings itself on the first column. So you can use that. And yes, same way, if you add a code to the footer section of your website, it loads last. So most of your pop-ups and your chat features and all, you place your snippet code in the footer section. So this is how we use header and footer on your website. And it's something like very vast. Like right now you can scale the ability of your website by adding a lot of integrations. If you are like a Zoho One user, I mean, if you're a sites user, you are probably a Zoho One user, there is direct one-click integration. But there are like a lot of other integrations out there. You will definitely need the header and the footer section to help you integrate seamlessly. So right now we have like two sample scenarios. This is basically when you have like very long home page, and like a user has come down, and we don't really expect them to scroll all the way up because they're not going to read. So we're just going to place a button that says back to top on like on your right hand side corner. You would have seen that in a lot of websites. So our templates, they don't really have this. So we are going to show how we are going to use this particular header and the footer code section to achieve that. And another it's an interesting example is like disabling right click. So if you are like coming up with very unique content, and it's very much pertaining to your niche, then you don't want people copying your content, copying your images. So what we have had this request a lot of times. What customer says, like I don't want people copying the content. So you can disable the right click option from your entire website. So Christine is going to show you how we are going to do these two sample things. So on to you, Christine.
Yep. So as Kritika mentioned, we have the button where you can, if you have very long pieces of content. So this is not the header and footer code can be added not only on site wide, but it can also be added like page wise. And so now when you have this particular button, when you add it on the site wide area, it will appear all throughout your site. So not just on your home page, you can have this button appearing on every single page of your website, irrespective of the number of pages that you have. And so this came really in handy when I was working on the help document site that we have, which I've shared the link to. So if you take a look at that, you will notice that there are like a lot of sections that we put in there by making the page really long. So by the time you get to the bottom of it, you may not want to scroll all the way back up. And so you can click on the back to top button, and that'll take you all the way up to the top really quick and easy. So just getting into how that works. So you get into the header code, which you will find in settings, and you paste the code again, which is provided in the link that I've shared with you in the chat. And then you click save. And then what you do is it applies instantly. So what you do is you click publish, and you access your published site, and you can see on the bottom right hand corner the top button. And so you can always get into the little nitty gritties and customize the way you want that button to appear. So this is just a standard black rectangle with an arrow. You can also change it to be like a circle, change the color, change the way the arrow is, remove the top text. And so that is up to you. So this is just the button that we provide. And likewise, when you go into the gallery page as well, you have a lot of images. And so once you get to scrolling, you can get back on top. So that is one of the options that we provide that you can put into your header. And apart from that, you can also, prevent the right click from happening. And so with the right click, it's not just people not being able to copy your content. It'll also prevent them from printing your content or looking into your no inspect and no follow. So yeah. So what you do is you go and you paste it. And after pasting it, you can add as many header codes as you want with just a little spacing in between so it doesn't get confused. And so we've added a little spacing and we've added the script as well, along with the back to top button that we've already added previously. And so now when you get into your publish website, you can see that when you try to, let's just get there real quick. Yeah. And you highlight, and then when you try to copy it, you get a little notification saying that the function is disabled. And so wherever it is that you're trying to copy content, and whenever you try to right click, you'll get the function disabled pop-up that will appear. So that will disable, people from right clicking. And so those are the two functionalities or use cases. And of course, the possibilities are endless. So whatever it is that you do require, you can always copy them from third-party providers and paste them into your header boxes. All right, Kritika.
All right, thank you, Christine. So we have a couple of more scenarios for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right. Oh, we had a question about how to find the 1 second. Let me just think. That's a very basic question. I mean, that was the first question I had as well. So I'm just gonna read it out. So Wasim had this question: how do I know what class name of the certain element is? So Naresh pointed out, you need to inspect it and hover over it. So also, if anyone else wants to see how you if you have questions about how to inspect a particular thing or something, we can definitely help explain that in a bit also, just raise it as a question, and we can take it up in the end. I can actually screen share and show you how you can do that. So okay, so now JS events is another interesting thing, because it is JS is like a JavaScript that basically lets you take action based on the events that are detected. So these are the events, basically when you talk about on clicks, or when somebody clicks, this particular action needs to come up. So we can invoke that JS based on a click. And when you want to do a mouse over, you want some action to come up, you can do that using JS. So there are particular almost 6 different things. So where you can see this particular functionality is on your site builder itself. If you go and you can see the small JS, I'm not sure, my screenshot is not that clear, so you can see a small JS button there. So when you click on it, you can see event type. So you can choose with the in the drop down the kind of event you want this particular JS to be triggered, and then you actually use the same header or footer section itself to add the JS event. So this is how you can induce it. So we are just going to, it's a little confusing. I mean, it took me a long time to understand a bit about it. So we'll just see it based on examples. So uh, these two examples is making a whole banner clickable. So basically, when I click anywhere on the banner, I want the want it to take me to a different URL. So that's what we mean by clickable. By default, what you can do in your Zoho sites is that you can create a button and make the button clickable. So when a user clicks anywhere else, it's not going to take you anywhere. So a lot of customers have raised this as a query. They wanted the entire banner to be clickable. So that's where you invoke this particular JS event. So based on a click, an action takes place. So that's what we mean when we say JS event. And another thing is by default, the first when you have FAQs or any question answer section on your website, by default the accordion or the first part is open. So the first question, the answer is open. So what a lot of people did not want that. They wanted all of this to be closed. So when the site loads, we want to close that particular thing. So maybe, I mean, I'm not explaining, I mean, maybe like, seeing the example, you'll be able to understand it a bit better. So I'm just going to, like, transfer control to Christine, and she will show you how this function works on this. In the meantime, if you have any questions, do raise it, and I would answer it in detail. On to you, Christine.
Yep. Thank
Yeah.
you. All right, so first we will get into how to make the whole banner clickable. So I'll just broadcast that for all of you, right? So not only can you make the banner, like when you click on it, redirect to different pages within your website, you can also make them redirect to external websites and external URLs. I'll be showing you how you can configure both. And so this is using JS, which is JavaScript, and this kind of helps you with the functionality of your website based on wherever you click. So there's like an interactive kind of element going on over there. And so again, you get into your settings and you go into the header and footer and you paste the code. So this is the code that we have for the clickable banner. As you can see over here, we have it to redirect to the gallery once you click. And so you copy the name of this particular function. So you take banner click. So this, when you paste it in the JS box, it'll know what action to follow. So you click save. And then you get to that particular part of your page. So here, because we're going to make the banner clickable, we will click on the hero slide, which is also the banner, and you click on the JS property in the settings, and you enter the name that you have copied, which is banner click. And then once you do that and hit publish, and then you access the URL of your site. And as you can see, when you click on the banner of your page, it will redirect to the gallery instantaneously. And so, depending on the page that you post up or depending on the page that you are setting. And so apart from that, you can also go back and paste an external URL. So in this case, I'm giving the URL for our Zoho Sites website. So it's just pasting it there. And again, clicking save and following the same, steps. And so the code gets updated. And then after that, you publish your website. So we'll just get through that. And then once you publish, you go and access it, then you click on it and it takes you directly to the Zoho Sites website. So you can always, use that in any way in which you require. And then we will get into the next JavaScript event that you can perform, which is the accordion. And so the accordion is one of our content elements where you can add in, content in like stacked layers. And so we usually use this element when you're trying to display like collapsible content. Like maybe if you have like FAQs or something, you can like put all of them, like a question and then answers and have them collapsible. And so by default, with this particular element, when you hit publish, it will be open. So like the first tab will always be open. Some people aesthetically don't really like the look of that. And so they've requested saying, can we have this be closed unless, our visitor comes and manually clicks on it. And so in order to perform that action, this is the JS code that you can paste. And so I'm just going to show you a quick example, if in case you haven't used this element yet, as to how it actually looks and functions. So you can find it under the content area. And then, just to show you, to make it a little more realistic, we're going to add some content into it. So, right. And then you can just paste whatever content it is that you require, and it acts as, a tabbed accordion, which is like a stacked format of content. And when you look at it, you can see that it opens by default. And so this is what some people don't really, like, or they don't prefer. And so in order to change that, so in this particular scenario, we're going to change the way the accordion functions on this one particular page. So now if you get into the main site settings and paste it in, the header area over there, it will transpire site-wide. So every accordion that you have throughout your site will function in that manner. But in this particular scenario, we're going to talk about how you can prevent this from happening with your homepage. And so this particular accordion is on the homepage. And so that's why I'm opening up this particular page. And so you paste the code over here. And then you pick up the function name, again, like how I did previously for the clickable banner. And then you go to that element, which is on your page already. And so once you click on that, you get to the settings for that feature. And then you go to JS again. You enter the function's name. And then you go and hit publish, and then you click save. And then once you do that, you can access, and you can see how by default now it's closed. And so it looks a little more appealing in that manner. All right. Okay, Kritika, I'll head it on back to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Christine. 1 second.
Alrighty.
All right. So JS is again based on that particular feature is based on the any action. So it's could be a click, it could be a hover, it could be a page load. You can also invoke a function like once a particular page is completely loaded. So so many other things. So finally now, like, we are going to talk about code snippet. This is something a little bit more interesting because we have this feature, as you can see in the screenshot. You find this in the site builder itself. So under elements, when you scroll all the way down, you can see code snippet down on the bottom right, if you can see it. So Christine, just point out where it is. So basically what this particular function does, that it's like you write a small script, and then you can place it anywhere in the website, right? And it invokes a particular function. So right now in this particular example, we have something is pretty cool, that is like every time you paste a new blog, right? So we want the first blog, like the latest blog, to come, and you want to showcase it on your homepage. So right now what you basically might be doing is like manually setting it up, changing the image and then the content and the link, etc. But by invoking this particular code, applying this particular snippet into your particular section wherever you want it to come, by default, every time a new blog is published, that particular blog is displayed. So code snippet is a very powerful feature. And if you want, like more snippets or the particular CSS, any customization code, we have compiled frequently asked codes here, so you can click on it and access it. But yeah, I'm just going to pass the control on to Christine, and she will show you how that can be done. In the meantime, if anyone has any questions, to raise them. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Thank you, Kritika. So, right, with this particular example, we are going to talk about how when you have a blog page and you want to show the latest post. So usually when visitors want to visit your blog page, they will have to access your blog page from the menu. So here, using the code snippet, you can invoke your post onto any page on your website. So it's rather interesting. So I'll just show you real quick how you can get that going. So let's just broadcast. All right. So yeah, just a quick, showing you of how the function works. So now on your builder, you have, this is again just a few test blogs that I threw in there. So of course it's just for reference. And so when you click on it on your website, you see that your blog page just has a few posts available, and you can only access them when they are in your blog menu. And so now you can go and find the code snippet option under elements, and it's right down there at the bottom. So you scroll all the way to the bottom and it's on your bottom right, and then you add it onto any part or section of your website, and you just add a code name, which is again just for your reference, so you don't get confused with all the codes. Like if you have more snippets on your website, you're going to need reference. Then you paste the code. Again, this one is available in the link that I shared with you. And so now the snippet will be rendered. I'm so sorry. Yes, so what happens is that now when you get to the published site, you see that all of your posts appear. So these are all of the, what I have put as your frequent posts, and so, or your most recent posts. And these are the ones that are available. And you can see that it renders right there on your homepage where you had put your snippet. And so if there are any type of particular things that you would like to show or that you would like to place in different areas of your website, you can do that using the code snippet function. And so that is how you would go about doing that. Very quick and easy. Yep. Okay, Kritika, that is with that example.
You can just take over, like go to the question answer slide now.
All right, okay.
So these are the four kinds of customization what you can do with those sites. So we have some few unanswered questions, so I'm just going to read them out. Is there a CSS for changing corner of images one side straight? So, and you can actually use CSS to represent whatever kind of a design you want. It is all possible. Ideally you just need to have somebody who's well versed in CSS to, like, really help you out if you're looking for any out of the ordinary kind of a design. But you can achieve any sort of a design you want. So that is possible. And Kelly, I'm sure Naresh is finding your answer for your question, and I can't project the question. Christine, can you
Yeah,
just
let me
project?
project that. This is Kelly's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So CSS uses a standard CSS comment out, and header footer uses standard HTML comment out. So again, Kerry, this is too technical for me to take, but
Right.
will find the answer for you and he'll get back to you. Can you go to the next question, Christine?
Yep.
So I have made a price table to be integrated in the Zoho page, but I was wondering if I could use that instead of the Zoho subscription template price. I use the code snippet provided to integrate, but I see, Lexmet, like I see that you have like a very specified, scenario. What you can do is, like, write to us at marketing at Zoho site. So any sort of a bit of a customization you need or whatever, definitely we'll have to work with the developers, and a certain level of customization is possible. We will help you out however we can. So can you just feel free to, like, drop us an email at marketing@zoosites.com, and we will definitely help you out. Okay.
Take the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just a continuation of the previous one, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jared has one question.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it possible to completely remove the header and footer functionality from a single page? We have a form that is shared and want the user to access the form without accessing the
Rest of the
rest of
site.
the site. So actually, what uh, um, I'm not able to understand your question completely, Jared. Like, do you want, like, one single page with just the form and nothing else? So ideally you want to take users to a separate landing page where you want them to just enter thing. It is something you can definitely achieve by having like a separate landing page, right, Christine? Like, you can just build a new page and you can take users there where
Yeah.
you just have the form. That is something you can definitely do.
Right. I
And you can
think
and you
that
can have a, I think you don't need to have a footer or anything on the page. So that can definitely be done, Jared. But yeah, that should be like a new page that you create.
mm,
So there's
okay.
another question from Rich. Okay. Yes, Mohammed, we are recording this, so we will be sharing the recording. Rich has, how do I simply change the background and font color on mouse over, then on click go to a different page? So I think that can definitely be achieved by CSS code. So
Mm-hmm.
if you require, like, a little bit of a help on that, you can write to us at either support@zohosites.com or marketing@zohosites.com. We will definitely talk to our designers and can help you get the code. But that is definitely possible. You can do that, and I do think certain elements has, right, Christine. Like when you hover over, like a different color comes up. We have it in our pre-built templates itself. Uh,
Yes. That particular, but what do you mean by hovering over and it appearing in a different color? Like,
so when you take a mouse over it, it's like that color changes, right? And then you can click on it.
I don't think that that is a part of the template. I don't think that that, but it can be achieved by CSS definitely, but by default, I don't think that feature is there. As in, you can
Uh,
change the font color, but I don't think on a mouse over it'll change.
Okay, Rich. Then
Yeah.
definitely, if you need a code for that, I'm sure we already have it, and our support team can definitely help you because it's a very simple feature that a lot of websites have. So you can just email us and we can help you with that. Okay, Gina, how to add pop-up message or post? Okay, what question are you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting to it.
Yeah. How to add pop-up message or post when we click on the website. So when you we have certain snippets that can create
Apart from
pop-up.
snippets, though, we actually have that feature enabled. Like, are you talking about like if you're sending out like some sort of reminder message or like a cookie message? Is it something of that sort? Because that does appear as a pop-up, and we have that feature where you can just literally go and type in that message, and once you publish, it will appear as a pop-up. Or you can even customize the buttons as like accept and decline, and it will work in that way. So is that what you mean, Gina, by a pop-up message, or is there another requirement we have
Yeah.
to clarify? Yeah, because we do have that. Otherwise, I mean, it's definitely possible through CSS, but if it is the specific thing, we already have that feature built in with the builder. So
Okay, so if you can define the pop-up kind of a pop-up you want, because there are various pop-up to collect email IDs. There are some pop-ups. For that, what you can do is you might be using a pop-up builder. You need a third-party pop-up builder, and they would give you a code which you can either place on. You can usually place it in the footer of the website, and it would instantly work. So that is generally a kind of a pop-up as well. And like Christine said, if you are looking for a pop-up. Uh, Thanks, James, for giving
yes,
the code to Rich.
okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple thing, but yeah, we are not like code experts, but yeah.
Right.
So yeah, so if it's like a cookie pop-up or something, like Christine said, it is we have it in the builder itself. So any other question? Thank you so much, James. So nice
Yes,
to keep note of
much
that. Keep
appreciated.
note of the code, Christine.
Yes, we
Yes,
can use
this is like a hover
as the
thing
code.
that James has
Yep.
sent. So thank you. So any other questions or any other simple requirements that you have, like reducing the header space or something like that? Our support team will definitely help you out in sending the code out to you. But there are so many complex ands requirement. Definitely CSS can help you achieve give you a create a unique look for your website, and those sites definitely can do that for you. All right. In the chat, Christine Terence has the link you gave us, gives us the code we need to make changes. Terence, the codes that we just explained right now, about the various scenarios, you will find the codes there. But not all sort of CSS codes. I think we have around 8 to 10 different codes there.
Yeah, it's just the most frequently asked
Asked
for ones.
for.
So we made a
Yes.
compilation of those alone,
Yeah.
and yeah, the most commonly used ones.
Yep. So cool. Any other questions? I think we'll have the session open for another few more minutes.
Yeah.
Feel free to raise the question in the questions tab.
Thank you, Terence. Thank you, Mohammed. We were happy that we could be of assistance.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you,
Yeah.
David.
Yep.
You are all too kind.
I know.
Yeah. Makes the job worthwhile.
And back to top floating button. It's working well. Thank you, Gina. So
Oh,
definitely,
nice.
yeah. Just try it on.
But instant, yes, that's
I know.
awesome.
That's great.
Awesome. Real life use case.
Yep. So. Um, So definitely, we also have a Zoho Sites community page, right, Christine? So you can
Yes.
if you have any CSS codes that you're using, post it there so others can find it, and it definitely it will be really helpful for other Zoho Sites users as well. That is the kind of a relationship we are hoping to build with our customers, where customers can also help each other, and that's how you can all grow your websites, your business together. So that is one thing that would be great, right now when the code was pasted, we were very happy because helping one another. So definitely, like from next time onwards, we should also place our community link on the.
Should, yeah.
Yeah,
That's something that we missed
yeah,
out on doing. We should.
yeah, we'll do that. So,
Yes.
all right, I think no more questions.
Yep.
Thank you all
Thank
so
you
much.
everyone for joining us today, and we hope to see you next time.
Yep,
Have a nice day, and until next time.
yeah. Bye
All right.
bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.